So my son comes in the other day and he says to me, "Hey Dad, why don't you do a review of the new Taylor Swift album?"
Hey Dad,
Yes, son.
why don't you do a review video on Taylor Swift's new album?
And I said, "Taylor who?" And he said,
Swift.
and I said, "Who?" And he said,
Taylor Swift.
and I said, "Taylor who?"
Swift.
Never heard of him. Anyway, not even scared, I made my way over to Dr. Google over here and rustled up some information to see what I could find out about this Taylor Swift bloke. Well, imagine my surprise when I found out that he's not a bloke at all, he's a Sheila. What I was able to find out was that she became famous a few years ago when some bloke called Kanye West made a bit of a dick of himself and got up and ruined her acceptance speech when she was getting an award for Album of the Year. Kanye felt it was better going to my girl Beyonce.
I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
What else did I find out? She once hooked up with John Mayer, then wrote a song about it. She hooked up with Joe Jonas, and she wrote a song about it. She hooked up with somebody else called Lucas Till and wrote a song about it. She once hooked up with Corey Monteith. She hooked up with Jake Gyllenhaal and wrote a song about it. She once hooked up with Eddie Redmayne and wrote a song about it. She hooked up with Zac Efron, and you can guess what she did there? She wrote a song about it. She once hooked up with Harry Styles and they both wrote a song about it. If I'm forgetting anybody here, just let me know, because I haven't got all day for this. Other than being extremely friendly with the boys, our Taylor Swift is also known for being a country singer in a former life before she went on to become a pop singer. All in all, she's pretty much the opposite of everything I find great about music, so I'm guessing I'm about to upset even more music fans. That being said, I guess you could say I don't exactly fit into the target market of the typical Taylor Swift album. So it was with an open mind and some trepidation that I embarked on a listening session of the new Tay-Tay album called Evermore. Now, the album was originally intended to have been released on December 10th, just in time for Taylor's 31st birthday, but Sir Paul McCartney had put his thumbprint on that date and he was due to release his latest nonsense album. So Taylor, being the very polite girl that she is, moved her release date out by a week. Then something happened to Paul McCartney's release and that got moved out a further week. So then Tay-Tay moved hers back to the original date again. Anyway, eventually they all got their crap together and Taylor's album dropped on December 10th as originally planned. Just in time to get your mum a copy for Christmas. Now I'm told Evermore is a sister album to her release from earlier in 2020 called Folklore. But before we go any further, I have a question. What the hell is a sister album? Don't you just have an album and then you have another album? Sounds like marketing gobbledygook to me. Anyway, I digress. Back to the album at hand, which is Evermore. Well, the first thing that strikes me is that it's pleasantly devoid of the usual modern pop beats and contains actual instruments. I shouldn't say devoid, there's a couple of songs where there's some programmed drum beats and stuff in there, but for the most part, it does actually seem to be played by actual musicians on actual instruments, which is, well, that's a plus, that's a tick in the plus box. The first song starts with some very nice acoustic guitar, so we're off to a good start. The vocals have that usual over-processed sound that's become very hip in 2020, loads and loads of layers of vocals and auto-tuning and delays and reverbs and stuff, all those usual tricks that are used. But I guess that's the sound of 2020. Even Brian Johnson's voice on the latest AC/DC release has been run through the auto-tune machine. It's true, kids, don't shoot the messenger. Now, predictably, most of the songs follow the tried and true pop formula of the 1-5-6-4 chord structure that's proven so successful for so long. This album has a very laid-back feel, almost acoustic. It's folky in places, it's country in others. You can hear her country roots coming through. It's not the usual bubblegum Tay-Tay pop that loses its flavour very quickly. It's a lot better thought out, very well written and produced. With the exception of tracks like Long Story Short and Closure, there seems to have been a lot less programming and a lot more actual playing on this album. So that was pretty refreshing and was better than I expected. I'm predicting that Long Story Short will pop up as a radio-friendly single, as it's pretty much the only song that ventures much above 100 beats per minute on the entire album. So overall, what did I think of this release by Miss Swift? Miss Swift? Liz? Swift? Taylor Swift? Well, actually, I quite enjoyed it. It's what I call mood music. You have to be in the right mood to listen to it. There's some good songs with some good playing and arrangements and the usual high quality production that one would expect from an A-lister. But to me, that's all it is pretty much. Pleasant background music. I can see it being played in vegan restaurants and hipster cafes all over the world. You may even hear it in the elevator of your favourite tall building. Yes, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was alright. Pleasant enough background music. It's no Dark Side of the Moon or Metallica's Black Album, that's for damn sure. And it's a Spotify stream only for me. I sure as heck wouldn't lay down actual money to buy a hard copy of it. But if you're a Tay-Tay fan, no doubt you're loving it. From me, no more than 3 drumsticks out of 5, I'm afraid. For more of my nonsensical ramblings in 2021, you know what to do with the buttons down below. Do me a favour, don't subscribe if you're not going to come back and watch the videos. You're no good to me here. If you want to see why I upset AC/DC fans, click on this video over here. And if you want to watch the one that YouTube thinks you'll like, click on this one over here. Here's hoping 2021 is a better year for all. 2020 can suck it.